Hey everybody, I am Nick from Define My Day. Welcome to our live Q&A session that we have for this Saturday. We have a lot of questions I've been seeing in the user group, and I've been getting some questions in email that I want to address publicly because we see them fairly often, and they're common issues that I think a lot of people are probably going through. So I thought that I would go over these and any questions you might have today in this quick session. I'm probably going to keep this to a half an hour or an hour, and just to answer whatever questions you have. So feel free in the comments to throw a question up there. I will get to them in the order that I see them, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. I myself have been doing some reading that I want to talk to you guys about, because one of the things that a lot of people have a hard time with is that sense of overwhelm. In fact, it's one of the questions I want to talk about, is that I've seen people say that when they get the book, they have it in their hand, and they open it up, and they're like, wow, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. And I think that right there is common in a lot of areas, whether we're talking about Define My Day, or I experienced it this week coming out of the 4th of July long weekend, right? I'm starting on Monday going, where do I start, right? And you look at this mountain of things to do, and you don't know where to go with it. And I think that we just need to chip away. Like, we need to just write down all the things we have, and then kind of highlight the few things where we need to start, and start chipping away at it. And eventually, once you get rolling, you're okay. And it's sort of the same thing with Define My Day. You just have to start. You get going with it, and you sort of feel the process out, and you get into a rhythm, and things start rolling, and it's like a freight train. Once you get that momentum going, you're good to go. You just have to get to that point. And the only way to do that is to start rolling. So just get started, get rolling, feel your way out. Don't worry about messing it up. Just keep going. But the other thing is, sticking with it. And some people are asking questions like, saying that they're just kind of stuck. They don't know where to start. They can't, or they start and they can't keep the habit going. And I think we have to look at our motivations there. And I talk about my values and looking ahead 10 years and looking ahead to that day that I'm going to pass away, right? And how I figure out what's really important to me by thinking about what I'm going to regret if I don't get it done. Even if I were to think today, like if something were to happen to me, what would I regret not having done with my boys, or not having done with my business or my wife? And that if you look at it in that perspective, like if we don't know how much time we have left, so what's important to me that's going to keep me motivated in these things that I'm doing now, these things I feel like I have to do now. How do I connect these things to where I'm going? And in this book, Emotional Agility by Susan David, I've been highlighting like crazy this thing, but she talks about want to and have to obligations. And there's things like the traps in the language that we use. Like I have to do my daddy obligations today, or I get to spend time with my kids today. Two completely different things, but it changes the way that you think about a situation you're in. I have to do Define My Day today. Oh, I have to open this book and do Define My Day. Or I get to think about my priorities today and follow through on the things that are going to move me to that place where I'm going to be happy and fulfilled and out of maybe the situation that I'm in right now. So it's that kind of like that mental flip that we all need to go through to do those really important things for ourselves that we want to do. So this one paragraph that she has here, she talks about want to goals. Want to goals reflect a person's genuine interest and values, their why. We've talked about why in the past, right? We pursue these kinds of goals because of personal enjoyment, which is intrinsic interest, because of the inherent importance of the goal, identified interest, or because the goal has been assimilated into our core identity, which is integrated interest. But most important, these goals are freely chosen by us. Have two goals, on the other hand, are imposed, often by a nagging friend or relative. You've got to lose that gut, is an example she uses. I think some of us have heard that before. I know I have. Or by our own sense of obligation to some internal narrative or external goal, typically related to avoiding shame. Good grief, I look like the Goodyear blimp, is an example she uses. I can't go to the wedding looking like this. So there's more into this, right? But you see the difference between the two. And that you have to want to and connect your wants to changing your lifestyle rather than that obligation, that feeling of like, I got to do this for somebody else. I got to do this because this person keeps nagging me. I got to do this because I have to be in shape. But you change that have to be in shape to, I want to be around for my kids as long as possible. I want to see my grandkids grow up. I want to live a long and healthy life and be able to enjoy myself as long as I possibly can. And with Define My Day, it's that the only way you're going to keep doing this process daily is if you identify that connection between what's happening now, the changes you're making now, the discipline that you're instilling in your life now, and what you want to achieve in the future. And that's a big disconnect that a lot of people deal with, in that future self, we can't relate to that person. We're wired to think about what we need right now. And we need to connect what we're doing now with where we're going to go in the future so that we can maintain that path to that place. So the more we think about, okay, the things I'm doing today and connect it to that future self, the more we strengthen that connection, the more motivation we're going to have to do the things in the hard times, keep those habits going and struggle through it, when you least want to do it, when you're going through a negative experience, to still maintain the healthy habits no matter what it is, so that you can still become that person you want to be. So, it's this book is amazing, and I think we're going to probably have to take a deep dive into this after I finish the book completely. We'll schedule this sometime in the future, and I have a lot of notes. I'm going to try to organize it all and go over it. But if you're looking for some reading material, this one is rock solid. I'm going to look through the comments right here and see what's going on, but I want you guys to stick around. We have an announcement about a challenge that's going on in the user group for this next starting Monday for 7 days. And there's going to be a prize for that for one person. We're going to randomly choose somebody that goes through that challenge. And I'm also going to randomly choose somebody today to win something at the end of this session. So at the end of it, listen for what we're doing to give away some stuff. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Kim Cody, what reading recommendations do you have? Well, I just said Emotional Agility. That is a really good book. James Clear's Atomic Habits is one that I've read in recent months. Very good. He has, and if you've read a habits book, some of it's going to be very familiar to you, but he does some really add some new concepts to it. And one of the things that he says, and he just reiterated it in a podcast I listened to, 10% Happier podcast by Dan Harris, is that the things we do today are votes for who we want to become. So if I wake up today and exercise, I'm voting to be a healthy person. If I wake up today and don't exercise, I'm voting to be an unhealthy person. And the more votes that accumulate in either direction is the person I'm going to become. So I look at that with Define My Day. Define My Day helps me become more disciplined, helps me focus more on what's most important to me, and helps me become more aware of my emotions and my mindset and the things that happen to me in and out, or daily. And so every day I do Define My Day, I'm voting to strengthen myself. Every day that I don't is a vote to become kind of like that rudderless boat where the currents of the day just kind of take me wherever. So that's a very good book also, James Clear's Atomic Habits. Start with Why from Simon Sinek, I think, is an amazing book. What else have we read? Mindset by Carol Dweck. Um, what else? I know there's one right now that I'm thinking of that I can't think of the name, but I will add more. I'll throw some other ones in the comments. I'm sure some regular people in here have some suggestions also. The Miracle Morning is one that a lot of people in our user group have read. I think that anybody that goes through the Miracle Morning process will find time, one, for Define My Day, but also for a lot of the other really healthy habits that we need. One that I'm looking forward to starting is Man's Search for Meaning. This has been recommended to me by a couple of people I respect. And once I'm finished with Emotional Agility, I'm going to jump right into this one. Let's see. Let's also go through some comments here. Kim, I find myself frustrated with reusing old themes of the day and that I get into a rut. Any recommendations on how to find new ideas so that the old ones don't start lacking meaning and motivation? Yeah, I think that's it's kind of personal. I know a lot of people in the user group, when they see other people's suggestions or what they're doing, get some good ideas from that. For me, I actually do use the same theme almost day in and day out. It's either keep pushing forward, go, exclamation point, enjoy the day. Like, I have half a dozen themes that I always use, but it's just kind of my personal theme. You know, it's like when you're the owner of a business, you kind of like have to keep reiterating the mission of the business and the values. And I think it's almost the same thing for yourself when you're doing your affirmations or when you're doing your theme. It's kind of like that. My theme is, be disciplined. And it's kind of like you kind of have to feel where your priorities are taking you for the day. So if I have a frustrating day ahead of me, like I'm anticipating that I have a lot going on and I need to stay focused and I need to persevere, for me, it's keep pushing forward or keep moving forward. If it's a Saturday like today, where I have a lot of social things, I want to enjoy my day with my kids and my wife, it's enjoy the day. So, and that simple statement, like I can think to myself as I'm having an experience today, whether it's sitting in traffic or a frustrating experience with my kids, if I think to myself what my theme is, it's enjoy the day. So no matter what's happening right now, I'm going to enjoy the day. So it's kind of that whatever you need to say to yourself to keep your mind focused on what you need to get done. So your theme, it might be the same thing constantly. You can switch it up a little bit, but it's that summary. It's that couple word summary of whatever you've written on the daily page. Hey sis, how are you? Good to see you. Good afternoon, Belinda. Susan's is arriving next week. Awesome. Thank you for purchasing it. I appreciate it. Brenda, good afternoon from Kansas. Good afternoon. Good to see you. Hello from Maine, Susan. Hello, Terry. Sheila, good to have you. Thank you. Sheila is actually going to be quarterbacking our challenge in a way. Thanks, Sheila, for the hard work she puts into the user group. I appreciate it every day. She is an awesome, awesome leader in that group. Sue says she's not hearing or seeing anything. So you're not getting anything but the circle of death. Ugh, sorry to hear that. Maybe your internet connection needs to be improved. I hope everybody else can hear me. Sheila, I can tell from the first line of this sentence that I agree with you. I hate housework with a passion. It is a have to. Ugh. Yeah, I get you. I usually set a set amount of time to work on a home task, but it's such a struggle. For the past 2 weeks, instead of setting a time limit, I set up my Fitbit to exercise and clean the house until 2 miles, and then I'm done. I want to lose weight, much better motivated to do it. That's actually very close to a theme that is in this book. It's in Emotional Agility. So a research study was done with housekeepers, maids in a hotel, right, the cleaning staff. And they gave 2 groups of cleaning staff at the hotel. One of them was just like the control group where they got to go and do their job, right? And they tracked their weight, and I think they even maybe used Fitbits on them to see how much movement they have. And what they found was that one group, the control group, did the same amount of steps as the group that they told this little fact to, and the group that they told the fact to lost weight. And that fact was that their job is actually healthy for them and provides them with the daily amount of exercise they need to be in good shape. That's all. Nobody added anything to any of it. They didn't do more work. They just had that fact that what they were doing today was healthy for them. Their job was healthy for them. And because of that, they changed other parts of their lives, realizing that they were already doing half the battle. So they maybe ate or drank less. Maybe they, when they got home, what they ate was different, or their attitudes changed. They didn't really. I don't think they really tracked what was happening, but just the small facts of they got this information, and what happened? They lost weight. They got healthier, and that's it. So when we can relate those little things, when we can put that perspective, like that have to or want to, the I get to, the way we look at things changes how we operate in small ways and brings us to a healthier place. So Sheila, you're right on target. I just read that. Loretta, hello from Chicago. You are a quarterback. I appreciate you every day, seriously. Another question we had was, I feel like I'm repeating the same things day in and day out. Day after day, priorities are the same. And that can be okay. But if it's getting you into a rut, if it's monotonous, then we need to figure out why. And that's where the journaling comes into it at the end of the day, right? So really, you have to really look at what you're trying to accomplish in life. And it's that, again, you have to, whatever way is most compatible for you. But I like to look ahead and say to myself, look, if I were to die today, right? Let's say that I just don't wake up tomorrow morning, right? It's morbid, I know, but we have to kind of think this way because we all are going to pass away, right? So what if I'm gonna die tomorrow? Like, what if I don't wake up in the morning? What would be the biggest things that I'm proud of, and the biggest things that would bother me? Like what do I need to get done today? So it's financial security for my kids. It's spending the time with them that I should. It's making sure my wife is set and ready and financially secure and able to take care of herself for the rest of her life, so that so she has no worries. Like the only thing that she has to do is take care of the boys, and not have to worry about struggling about anything, and everything's taken care of. I want to make sure that I have a good reputation, an ethical reputation, a reputation of being honest, right? I don't want anybody to think, well, what a jerk, I'm glad he's dead, right? Like, so all these feelings that that I would have if today were my last day on the planet, what legacy am I leaving? I tie that into what needs to happen today, right? So, for my boys, I need to have things in place for, a will and, financially, what do I need to do? And if it's not set, if it's not done, then what are the steps I need to take to get to that place? As far as a reputation thing goes, look, if people think a certain way about you, then, and you don't like it, then maybe we need to change the way we operate. That's not easy. But when we leave a room or we leave somebody, how are we leaving them? How are they feeling when we leave them? If they feel like, wow, what a jerk, then we need to change the way we are, right? And a lot of people say, well, I don't care what people think about me. We all care what people think about us. That's just a defense mechanism to say, well, I don't care and whatever, because we're trying to justify our actions and the way we make people feel. And I think that there are some people you're not going to care how they feel, because there are some people that are jerks themselves. But we need to think about, like, today, like, so what's my priority, right? What today for me is going to make me truly happy? Maybe I need to change the way I interact with people. Maybe my job stinks and I need to change my job. I need to start and make my priorities aren't going to be then, do a better job at my job. My priorities are going to be, how to put myself in a position where I can get a different job. So your priorities then are going to change according to that. Maybe you're retired and you want to enjoy the last however many years you have. So what today can I do to make sure I enjoy that? It could simply be, plan a vacation, plan a weekend trip, spend 10 minutes with my spouse. And sometimes that happens daily and that priority stays the same. For me, myself, one of my priorities, 1 through 3, for the past couple of weeks has been my health. So it's different things on there. It'll usually say eat well, exercise, and be present, or be mindful, or be healthy, right? Just an overall be healthy. Sometimes it's very specific, sometimes it's broad, but it's okay if it's the same thing as long as it's something you're making progress in. If you're constantly putting a priority down and you're not making progress with it, then you have to look and say, well, why is that happening? Why am I not making progress on this thing? And then you need to kind of see how you're feeling about it. Is it something you're putting off? Are you procrastinating or whatever? I don't know if you can hear it, but I had this crazy clicking going on in the background here. And it's like a fan on my computer that's annoying the heck out of me right now. So I'm going to try to be present and mindful and not pay attention to it. I apologize if you can hear it. Thank you, Sheila. Hey, Dottie in New Jersey. How are you? Okay, so our next question we have is, how do I stay focused when something negative happens? This happens to me, actually, when something negative happens and when something positive happens. So I tend to jump off of my habits when something really, like when there's emotional turmoil, really stressful events, whether it's at work or at home, I tend to drop my habits. But also, when I'm on a trip, when I'm on vacation, I tend to drop my habits then. And what I've observed over the years is I've tried to get more disciplined daily. When I come back, it makes getting started that much harder. So for me, my focus has been, in a tumultuous time, and when something negative happens, that's actually the most important time to stay on our healthy habits, because those are the things that keep us healthy, right? Those are the things we sort of lean on as we're going through this period. And you can gain a lot of insight as you're going through whatever this negative time is, as you journal, as you write down your feelings. Getting it out on paper can help you, even if you never go back and read it again. There's studies that have proven that getting it out on paper really helps you get through and clarify your thought processes as you're going through this. So people in a stressful situation as they're journaling have a healthier mindset going through that negative situation. On the flip side of it, like the vacation and things, like we kind of just let everything go. We take a vacation from stuff that's healthy. I think that for me, that's where I struggle now, and we just need to keep it up, and we need to remember why we're doing it. We're doing it to be healthier. We're doing it to reach those goals that help us enjoy every day better, not just the vacations. So another one was another tip I actually saw, not so much a question, but a tip. People were talking about forward scheduling some of the things, the priorities that they might have in the future. And I think this is really cool. I've never really thought about this. So I scheduled tomorrow's the night before, but I've never thought like, okay, Thursday my priority is going to be. So somebody in our group writes down, they go ahead to Thursday in their book, and they'll write down Thursday's priority, even if it's earlier in the week, like Monday or whatever. I think that's a great idea, because a lot of times, even if you reference back to your milestones on a week or daily basis, we kind of lose sight of where we're going, and then at the end of the week, when we say, did I reach my goals this week, it might be no, because we got off our path. But if we pre-plan a couple of days ahead of time and write down what the focus is going to be on Thursday, then when we open up to Thursday and you have other things on your mind and you look at Thursday and you're like, oh yeah, wait a minute, this is a priority for me. And then you can decide, okay, it is a priority or I need to change it to something else. But that's a great idea. I can't believe I never thought of it. I'm a little embarrassed that I never did, but that's why we have the user group. So great idea. Something that was really useful for me today, as far as scheduling my time, is time blocking. So this morning when I woke up, and I probably would have woke up earlier if I would have done this last night, but I didn't do it last night. When I got up, I came up to my office here, and I scheduled all of the things I wanted to do today, including this video, and I just blocked it all off in my Outlook calendar. And you can really see how much time you do or don't have in a day, even for fun stuff, right? So today after the session, I'm taking my kids to the racetrack, and we're going to go watch a bunch of antique cars race around the racetrack. But that's on my schedule. But in order to be able to do that, I had a lot of things I needed to get done earlier this morning. So, I cleaned up the backyard. I tore the little inflatable pool down. I fixed the garage door. I took photos of the Define My Day books for the website. What else did I do? I exercised. A lot of things. I crammed it all in this morning so that now I am free to enjoy myself this afternoon with my boys. Otherwise, if I let a little bit of time slip away from me this morning, then I'm stressed out about what might need to happen if I don't get it done and I go to this race and I come back home and I'm thinking about it while I'm there. I'm not present in the moment because I'm stressed out about it and I'm anxious and whatever. I get back home, I'm stressed. All that is avoided because I scheduled my time. I'm going to check and see if I can make this stop, this noise. Excuse me. Alright, so apparently I have a fan that's misbehaving. So I'll try to, I hope this doesn't bother everybody. As far as time, while I'm on time, one of the little insights that I had for myself, I was microwaving something that was set for like a minute and a half, and while I was standing there with the microwave, I decided, well, now's the perfect time to take the pills that I always take, the supplements, right? And I hate taking my supplements. It's just, I don't like the tedious nature of taking things out of bottles, putting it out on the counter, and then drinking them, and it's just a tedious thing for me. So it's one of those things that I put off and I end up doing like whenever. But what I realized while waiting for my whatever it was to microwave is it only took like 45 seconds to do all of this. And then it occurred to me, none of the things we do, the healthy things, take a lot of time. It took 45 seconds to take the supplements that I feel are healthy for me. It really takes 5 minutes to Define My Day. It takes a half an hour to work out every day. They're all small moments, but we make it into this big thing, and then we don't take care of it, and it just slides and slides, and it doesn't get done. I think maybe changing the perspective and changing the reality of what's, where we're putting our time. It's easy to put half an hour on our phone, but to put a half an hour exercising, it's like it becomes this big, gigantic mountain. And I think if we maybe just reduce that a little bit, it's not such a big deal. Same with this. It takes 10 minutes, less. And if you just schedule it, wake up and just do it. Instead of thinking about it and stressing out about it, just do it, and it gets done, and then you can get on with whatever you got to do. I think about that. It happens in a lot of, relating it back to doing anything. Making a phone call, making a difficult phone call. Just get it done and you never have to think about it again. Man, that ticking noise is really bothering me. I'm sorry. Tammy says, great advice to journal more during difficult times. I think things getting out on paper will really help. Thank you. Yeah, and I know for myself, when I journal, like it's easier when things are going well. It's harder when I'm like, I don't feel like it. I'm angry, or I'm upset, or I'm sad. But I think that's the time we most need to do it. It's always the way it is. What we need to do, we don't want to do it when we most need to do it. It's just, I don't know why we work that way. I have no idea. It's an avoidance thing. Julie says, hello from Oklahoma. I love the idea of changing the way I look at things. I want to be more positive. Thank you. Yeah, and it's funny because there's the power of positive thinking, and then there's people that say, well, that doesn't work. And she even specifically says it, like, you just can't think positive. You have to change that perspective. So it's not just a matter of like blindly going, well, everything's going to be okay. It's about flipping the perspective about what you get to do today. And that's sort of the Define My Day appreciation and the enjoyment aspect of the day, is that what do you get to do today? Like, we get to do so much. We get to be on the internet today talking to each other. I get to go outside and enjoy a nice race with my kids in the sunlight. Even if it's raining and it's miserable outside, I get to hang out at home and relax. It could always be so much worse, but we get it. We get to be here today. Terry says it doesn't bother you. You're fine. I'm glad it's not bothering you. I appreciate. I hope it's not as loud as it sounds over here. Yeah, time blocking, I think, it's one of those really valuable things that I don't do enough. I don't do it every day because I sort of, like, once I define my day, I sort of like get into it. But if I time block it, I can see I'm so much more productive, and I've been doing more and more of it. It's amazing, and it works even better for me. There's such a dynamic effect during the weekend because I cram in all the obligations and like stuff I don't want to do. I cram it in real quick, and then I'm free to think about everything else that I want to do. So I doing it on the weekend for me makes me enjoy the weekend so much more. Jason, when thinking about priorities, how do you recommend balancing high urgency versus high impact? I could fill my priorities with things like scheduling doctor's appointments, submitting critical paperwork, etc. I do. So high impact is really the priority stuff for me. High urgency is what I'm trying to avoid generally. And I don't have one here to show you. I usually do, but there's the quadrants of like urgency, importance, and all of that. We want to try to avoid really anything urgent. For me, like doctor's appointments and things, I try to put that all on my to-do list, and then I block it off for like a half an hour or an hour, and I'll have like bang, 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 just do all of that stuff. And a lot of times I find that can be done at any time. Doctor's appointments, they have to be open, right? So you have to kind of work around that. But I try to like bang that stuff out at a time when I might just be wasting time or relaxing, or maybe like immediately after lunch or something like that. But the priority stuff, and sometimes it takes a while to shift that perspective. The priority stuff is that deep work, that like, sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes we just need to block out focus time where nobody else is bothering us. Sometimes it's just a thought we need to keep in our mind every day, like for me, be healthy. But in the end, like, unless it's a critical doctor's appointment, I actually just went through this. So I had a couple of tests I needed to have done and an x-ray done on my ankle and stuff like that. And it's important, right? It's important. It's in a way, it's a priority because for me to be healthy in the future, I need to get all this stuff done, right? But it's not a priority because, whether I get an x-ray done today doesn't matter. Today, I still need to work towards the things that are going to take me to that place of happiness. So it's an important to-do list item. I still make sure I get the high impact things done first. And then that urgent stuff gets kind of like, a lot of times we think things are urgent when they're really not, like returning phone calls and emails and somebody else's urgent tasks. A lot of times it's just a matter of perspective to say, is it really important? It's urgent. It might be urgent for somebody else, but is it really important in the grand scheme of things? And that journaling and kind of reviewing where we spent our time in the day helps us sort that out. So for me, it took a lot of time to sort that out. I thought I was doing things that were incredibly important, like going to networking events is an example I use all the time. man, I was spending hours a week at networking events thinking I was building my business that way. But then when I really analyzed where I was investing my time, it was much more important for me to be with my family. And I wasn't really getting as much out of those networking events as I could have, and where I was spending other time other places. Tammy Lou says, I woke up and had my day planned. Boom, I found I have pantry moths. Change of plans. Must clean cupboard. Yeah, and so, there's sort of an urgent thing that happened. Hold on, I'm going to try to turn this down again. That is obnoxious. Okay. It was like tormenting me there. Okay, so Tammy Lou says, positive part of the day, I do not have my grandkids and I can get it done. And so you adjust it, right? So the more we take care of the priorities, the more time we have to handle those emergencies. And we've seen some people in our group that have had incidents with their spouse, possibly even a death in the family. I think I just saw somebody in the music group today, her car caught on fire. The more time we spend doing our priorities, we can shift our priorities in alignment with what's really important to us. I think somebody else in the group had, they were spending time with their spouse who was in an accident or was sick. And, your priority might shift to then making your spouse feel comfortable and taking care of that person. And sometimes things get completely thrown off. I mean, it happens all of the time. I might wake up thinking that I'm going to spend a lot of time working in the user group, or I'm going to spend a lot of time, helping people out with certain things. And then I get a call and, I have to run. I have to run to a client location or something like that. It happens. But we want to try to minimize how much that happens. A lot of times it's preventing things by taking care of it early. And a lot of times when we work on priorities, we're doing that. We're being proactive instead of reactive, and it minimizes those things that jump up at us. Sis says, back in the day, I learned to time chores I disliked. Yeah. When I realized folding a load of laundry generally took about 5 minutes, I started folding it as I took it out, avoiding procrastination and freeing myself up. I love the 2-minute challenge to just do the quick things. That is an incredible mindset switch for a lot of people. Touch It Once is sort of related to this, where, in business, when like managing emails or something, like if you just touch it once, take care of it, and get it done. So you don't have to like procrastinate and put it off. You just get it done and then move on, and you never have to think about it. It's not weighing on you. That's incredibly important. And with chores, sometimes just doing it, getting it done. A lot of times, like dishes in the sink can build up to a big stack, whereas if you, instead of putting it in the sink, you just wash it off real quick and put it on the drying rack, and then it never gets to be this big thing. Take that out to any part of your life. We procrastinate, we let things stack up, and it becomes so big that we don't even know where to start. So if we chip away at it, take the small steps every day, chip away at it, it makes it much more manageable. And we're not looking at that gigantic mountain of things we need to accomplish. We're just talking about what we want to accomplish today. Sis, that's really good. It's a great way of looking at all the little things we don't want to do. I love it. Jennifer, dear Lord, it took me forever to figure out how to log in with this chat, but I made it. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm glad you made it. And the replay, as soon as we're done posting this, the replay will be up here, and it'll be uploaded on YouTube also. So if you need to watch it again to see what you missed, it'll be here. Terry says, I do time blocking, and I plan about 1 to 2 hours of miscellaneous. I do too. That's my afternoon time for to-do list items. That's where you can get those oddball things done, like scheduling doctor's appointments. Absolutely. So my priority time is first thing in the morning. And the reason it's first thing in the morning is because if something comes up in the morning, I can shift priority time to the afternoon, and then the oddball things get kicked out, right? But if I schedule priority time in the afternoon, take care of oddball things first in the day, and then something happens in the morning, and then like it goes into the afternoon, then I don't get any of my priority things done. Or I realized I screwed that up as I was saying it. I get all the oddball things done in the morning, and then something comes up, and then I kick out my priority things, and I have to take care of some emergency thing in the afternoon, and then priorities didn't get done. So I try to get done as early as possible my priority items, and then if something comes up, oddball items get kicked out, or priority items get shifted to the afternoon. So the earlier you can get the important stuff done, the better. I screwed up that explanation. Sorry about that. I had like 3 thoughts at once there. Jennifer, I've been doing CBT for about a year and a half with no success. I started ACT and EMDR last month. I'm finally seeing progress. My counselor wanted me to journal, but I was confused. But your journal is going to make a difference. Thank you. Good. Glad to hear it. I think it's, for me, it was the simplicity in journaling this way. I needed a little bit of structure, but didn't want it to be too much, and that's kind of where we try to make Define My Day fit in. Terry says, I read the book Goodbye to Survival Mode by Crystal Payne. That's where I learned how to time block. Good. I'll have to look that one up. I'm going to write that down right now. Goodbye to Survival Mode. Thank you. Okay. Now we talked about want to versus have to. Oh, what day do you start using Define My Day? That's completely up to you. It depends on your schedule. For me, I like to plan on Sunday, and then I start the actual day one is always a Monday for me. So because Sunday is kind of the real end to my week. Sunday night, I will set up my week. I'll write down my milestones. If it's a new book, I'll write down my goals. And then, Monday morning, I'm rolling as day one goes. And that's just a good anniversary day for me. Some people start day one as their start day. It's entirely up to you. If you work shifts, it depends on how it goes through your shift. But the important thing is to try to stick to the same time, the same day, every book. That's exactly why we only have 28 days in each book instead of 30, because we don't want the beginning of a book to coincide with the first day of the month. Because that might be a Tuesday one month, might be a Thursday the next. It might be we don't want to change our daily routine. So we find the best day for our planning, and we make that the planning day. And then for me, the next day is my day one. And then as far as when to do it, whether it's the first of the month or whatever, I say as soon as you get your book, start going. All you want to do is just start writing down. Everything becomes more clear. The fog lifts the more you go through the process. Do I have to do everything? So when you get Define My Day, you'll see the process looks a little bit more complicated when you open the book than it really is. All that we're trying to do with Define My Day is create healthy habits through daily disciplines, focus on the things that are most important to us, and we do that by exploring our values and our goals, where we want to be in life, and we try to connect our daily activity through our daily priorities. And then the mindset stuff is the appreciation, the enjoyment, the theme, and then on the back, the journaling, and that journaling also then connects our daily activities, how we feel about it, how we can improve. We're trying to really get healthy habits, focus, and mindset. That's all this is. It looks more complicated when you first open it up, but as you get familiar with the book and the process, it's so much easier. So do you need to do all of it? Yes. Do you need to? Do you have to? Yes. Now, do you want to? It depends on what you want, right? If you want to really make progress, if you want to improve your mindset, improve your discipline, improve your focus, then we got to go through the process the way it was designed. And an incredibly sad return we got. So somebody returned their book. This happened last fall. And she didn't feel it was working for her, but she returned the written pages in the book, right? And usually we tell people rip them out, return the whatever's left, and she left all the pages in the book, and in the in the review your day part, the question is, I just want to get it exactly here. If I could just open up the page I need. I am looking forward to is the last question as we review our day. And one day she wrote nothing. And that's saddened. It really saddens me to see that. I know I've been in that place, but the point of the exercise is to challenge yourself to find something you're looking forward to. There is something to look forward to. So, when you look at this and say, I don't appreciate anything, that's not the right answer. I want you to sit here and think, what good do I have in my life right now? You might have to struggle really, really hard, and it might only be one thing, but I doubt it. There's probably more in your life right now that you can appreciate. You're just not focused on it. You're not in the habit of focusing on it. I think if you're in the U.S. right now, you can appreciate the fact that you live in this country. No matter what state you think this country is in right now, it is much better than what other people are putting up with in other places. So I think that the fact that you can have a phone, or even afford to buy this book in the first place, or afford to buy a coffee, that you woke up today, all of that stuff, all of those things are things to appreciate. And we need to spend more time focusing on that than the other stuff. So, do you need to do every step of this? Absolutely. Will it move you to a place? Yes, slowly. A place of positivity, a place of getting things done for yourself, a place of focus, a place to figure out and become aware of what's really going to make you happy. Yes, but you got to go through the process. We can't skip it. I know people fall off. I've fallen off in the past. You get back on the horse and you keep going. You gotta go with it. You have to connect where you want to be with your daily actions, and this is part of it. Kristen says, here, great example. I am an oddball. I start my week on Wednesday and run my weeks from Wednesday to Wednesday. It works really well for me. Yes. That I love it because I don't have too many examples of that, but it's perfect. That's exactly why we did this the way we did it, because Wednesday for you is good. And that's what I want. I want you to continue to use that Wednesday and make that work for you. And if that's the way it is, now that would never work for me, but it works for you, great. I love to see that. Rona says, I just got the planner. I want to use it for personal life, but can see where it also will be very, very beneficial for work. Do I try it together in one planner or separate planners, or try personal first? I do both. We only have one life. I think that, now look, I could market this to business and personal and sell twice as many planners probably, but that's not my point, right? So my goal is not to do that. My goal is to help you get to that place where you are most happy. For me, I've used it, I blend it. Some days it's all personal, some days it's all business. Some days it's a blend of both. I think it depends on where I currently am, what season I am in. And so a lot of times, the attitude that I'm bringing home from work is the same sort of attitude fix that I need to work on it everywhere I am. So we are a person, right, that has personal stuff and has professional stuff. One is always affecting the other one. And I think the more we understand the cohesiveness there, how that all fits together, the better we are in both places. If we have a rough day at work, we're coming home miserable. If we're miserable at home, we probably are not efficient at work. So I think that if we make it all part of that one whole life concept, then we grow in both areas. And you're going to have times where one's harder than the other, and you'll need to focus and prioritize that a little bit differently. For me, I have revenue goals I have for work. I have, sometimes a client project is a goal for me, a priority for me. But there's always a little something in there from a personal side, whether it's a weight that I'm trying to achieve, or just being healthy overall, or spending more time with my kids. That might not ever show up as a priority one month, but then be a priority every week for the next month. It just depends on how I feel things are ebbing and flowing in life. But I would absolutely keep everything in one journal and be conscious of how one part of it affects another. I wouldn't split it up. I don't believe that's. I've never tried it, but I feel like it would make things feel a little bit disconnected. I don't usually have all 3 priorities to write in my journal. That's because I know I will only have enough time in the day to do 1 or 2. Is that okay? Absolutely. So I have been in the habit in the past year of filling in all 3 priorities. But when I first started, I didn't. I usually only had 1, possibly 2, because there were big things that needed to get done, and I didn't want to think about anything else. That's okay. For me, a lot of times my 3rd priority now is generally just be healthy. Eat well, exercise, and be present, or make sure I meditate, or whatever. So it's sort of that like underlying priority that's always there, but I just need to identify it today because I have the room. So, but yeah, you don't certainly if you have 1 priority, just make sure you get that 1 priority done, and then after that, you're good to go, right? You can enjoy the rest of your time, whatever time's left in the day. All right, so that I'm done with my questions, I believe. Yeah. So, last night I made a quick note here. Last night, so my son and I were watching The Last Samurai. It's a Tom Cruise movie. Whatever your opinion about that movie might be, there was one scene that where he's like. He's narrating a journal entry that he made, and he was talking about how he was amazed at the Japanese samurai that every day of their life is dedicated to perfecting their chosen discipline. And I, immediately thought of how contrary to everything we do today that concept is. How many of us in this group, or how many people do you even know that spend every day trying to perfect one thing in their lives? It's probably not many. I know for me, I am lacking in that area. I can't imagine living in a culture where I'm just perfecting that one thing. And I think that now we're just so used to being distracted and entertaining ourselves and just going in whatever direction today brings us. If we can bring that concept, it's possible. And that's the thing, is that thinking about how people lived in the past, in especially cultures like this, they dedicated their entire lives to doing one thing really, really well, and were fulfilled by that. It's possible. It seems unbelievable for people right now, given everything going on. But I think if we can try to just lean a little bit more that direction, becoming really good in something we can be proud of, whether it's being kind or being outgoing or being nice or being giving or being really good at our job or a hobby or a parent or a grandparent, whatever that might be. But if we strive to just become a little bit better every day, then life gets better. We have that sense of accomplishment within ourselves by doing something that aligns with who we want to be and really making progress there. I think that just makes you feel really good inside. Kristen says, I tried, replying to someone there, I tried starting on Monday, but after a couple of weeks, it just wasn't working for me. But rather than giving up on the process, I adjusted my start day, and I'm so pleased with my progress. It's great to hear. I love it. And that ability, that coming back around and trying again, I love the resilience and the grit in that. So awesome. Very cool. Couple of announcements. So we have in the user group, if you are a current user and you are in the user group, if you're a user and you're not in the user group, get in the user group. All we need to get you in is if you email us, or if you request to get into the user group, email us either the password, or write in the password when you request to get in, or the order number that you had when you ordered the product. If you need help, message us and we can look up your order. But we want to get you in there. This week we're running a challenge. And every day, Sheila writes in the group, what are your, in the first day of the week, she writes, what are your milestones? And then every day she writes, what are your priorities for the day? So I'm going to have her continue to do that. Sheila, thank you very much. And everybody that writes in there every day will be eligible to win at the end of the week our prize that we're going to have for people. And so what we're doing, this is a 7-day challenge. So you have to comment on Sheila's post every day for 7 days straight. And what we're going to do for you, you've seen on the website, it's not up there now, the productivity pack, right? It's all the tools that I love that I use every day for my Define My Day process. And what that includes is an Aquanotes waterproof notepad. This suction cups to the inside of your shower, and you can write on it, take notes while you're in the shower, instead of forgetting it like I do the minute you walk out of the shower. So there's 40 sheets on this. We have 328 Post-it flags that we're going to give you. I use them all the time on my book. You can see them in here. I mark all my pages with my Post-it flags. I love these things. And then we're going to give you your choice of some erasable pens. So we have black, we have red, and we have blue. You can choose whatever color you like of the pens. We're going to give one person all 3 of those things at the end of the week. At the end of the week, your comment, we'll write the full rules, but you'll comment like I did all 7 days, and then we'll verify whoever we randomly pick did those 7 days worth of stating their priorities for the week. And whoever we pick, we're going to send all this stuff out for you for free. This is about like a $25, $30 value of products here. I love the pens, the erasable pens. I use them every day. I actually have more colors than we even sell in the store. They really work. They're not as messy as pencils, and they erase really well. I love them. So if you're interested in that, get into the user group and let us know what your priorities. If it's something private, you can write confidential work priority or something like that. We're not gonna hinder your eligibility if you want to be private with it, but just write something in there as you respond to Sheila's post. Sis says, dishes done while watching you. Hey, great. I'm glad I could help you pass the time. I do that all the time. YouTube is great for that. Kristen, do we have to write in it, or is it okay to post a pic of our day in the planner? You can do that. If you post a picture of your daily planner sheet, I will consider that fulfilling the obligation, and that would actually be really helpful for other people. I love that idea. Susan says, Aquanote, that is genius. I love Aquanotes. They are phenomenal. Yeah, insist. I was watching everybody jump in on Sheila's posts, and I thought, for the hard work that you guys are doing, I want to reward you. And I think that sometimes we need that little extra push. Everybody likes to win something, so I figured let's do it. I want to see everybody really accomplish what they set out to accomplish this week. As a added bonus for spending your time, for the people that spent their time with me today, I want to give away a $25 gift card to our online store to whoever privately messages our Facebook page first. Right, I want my gift card. And whoever messages us first right now on the page will get a $25 gift card to Define My Day's store. So I will look for that, and we will announce it as soon as I see it. So somebody jump on there and message us. First person to message us will get it. And I know you have to find the message button. So whoever's quickest finding the message button is going to get that. I have other people messaging stuff, but I don't have anybody messaging that yet. While I'm waiting, I want to show you something else we have going on. So I love these Post-it notes, right? But they're not cheap. They're actually fairly expensive. They're really good. You can pull them off and put them back on. But what we wanted to do is something a little bit more affordable. And so we came up with these. These are going to have our logo on the outside of it, on the cover. And these have all different sizes. You have your regular sticky here, and I just ripped them off. Great. You're going to have your little ones here, and then the tabs, the little tabs here for the inside of your book. And these are actually paper, not the plastic ones like the Post-it, so they're a little bit easier to write on. These should be coming out in a couple of weeks. They'll be more affordable than these, and I'll have more details as they come out. The other thing you might notice now is on the Define My Day books, we changed the color of the bind. So the wire is now white. It seems to pop really well off of the covers. I like it myself. So I'd love some feedback if you guys like it. If there are people out there that still like black, let me know, and maybe we'll still offer black. I don't know. But right now, all of the ones shipping out now are going out in white. So the first person that messaged us, I want my gift card, is Tammy. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I'm not going to try and butcher it. But Tammy was the first person to write, I want my gift card. So Tammy is going to get her $25 gift card. So Tammy, thank you for joining us. Everybody else that's messaging now, thank you. But you're a couple seconds too late. But we're going to do this again. So watch for our videos in the future. We're going to give away something in almost all of the videos that we do now. It'll be smaller things sometimes, and other times it'll be a little bit larger. But we're going to get everybody involved, and thank you for your time you spent with us. Julie messaged, like the white binding, sis. Thank you. Yeah, Kristen, the white binding, I like it too. It looks clean. I really like it myself. Yeah, Tammy, Yahoo. Yeah, congratulations. So we'll send that to you in an email, and you can use it anytime you want. It'll be on your account on the Define My Day website, and you can use it for anything you want, including the shipping on whatever you purchase. So you're good to go. Susan, congratulations. Yeah, awesome. So thank you. I am going to go enjoy my Saturday at the racetrack with my boys. I hope all of you have a really good weekend, and I will see you sometime soon. We'll send out an email the next time we're going to do one of these lives. Look for the details of our challenge in the group. I'm going to post it either tonight or tomorrow, and then Sheila will be quarterbacking those posts. Look for her posts every day, and comment with what your priorities are for the day. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate all the feedback and comments. This has been awesome. Have a great day. Define your day to define your life, and become your most fulfilled self. Take care.